Alina, offline you have mentioned that you came to Australia to study diploma in IT, and after studying diploma in IT, you studied advanced diploma in IT, and then you studied bachelor in community service. Can you please explain the reason behind it by introducing yourself?
Hi, Shristi. Thank you for having me today here in your podcast. And it is my pleasure to attend it as well. And it is me, Alina Sapkota. Originally, I'm from Nepal, but currently I'm living in Australia, Sydney, since 5.5 years. And at the beginning, I have come to Australia to study IT, but I studied diploma and advanced diploma of IT, and then I felt like it is not for me because I didn't really find it interesting. And then I did some research like what could be the other option that I can pursue my career with. Then after doing some research, I found that community service or social work will be the better choice for me. Then after having a bit of more research, I feel like I will pursue with a community service because it has a PR pathway at that time. And that was my reason behind pursuing a Bachelor of Community Service degree in Australia.
Alina, I have heard lots and lots of negative rumors about community service sector course in relation to migration purpose. Can you please elaborate it by explaining the reason behind it, please?
Yes, sure, Shristi. So I can share my personal experience. At the beginning, when I pursued my pathway through community service sector, it was in a good point. But while I pursued my career in Bachelor of Community Service sector, I have heard lots of negative rumors and bad feedback from the students who have pursued their career in Bachelor of Community Service sector or Diploma of Community Service sector. Because at the beginning, the migration have mentioned that there is a PR pathway. Being an immigrant, that is the main goal why I had choose the Bachelor of Community Service sector. But I had my own personal belief that I feel like I could pursue a career in Bachelor of Community Service sector because I have always wanted to pursue my career in a human services sector. So being an immigrant, I think most of the students has studied this course because they want to migrate in Australia. But being in this time frame at the moment, after COVID-19, most of the students have got their negative skill assessment, which have indirectly affect their migration as well. So yeah, even when I search the news or even when I search the different reviews and all in social media, I have heard so many negative rumors. But what I want to say is like, if you are really willing to learn and if you are really looking forward to work in a community service sector or the human service sector, then I think you need to do a research by yourself rather than just hearing negative rumors or I recommend you to do your own research before pursuing this career or if you want to study a Bachelor of Community Service sector or any other course. I think doing your own research is a key. And at the moment, I think it is getting better. I have got my skill assessment positive recently, and I'd like to motivate other students who are pursuing or who are going to pursue this course in future. Please do your own research and move forward. Yeah.
Alina, what's the reason behind the negative skill assessment? Can you please elaborate it? Because you have mentioned that you struggle to get a positive skill assessment during your journey while we chat offline.
Sure. I can share my personal experience in this one as well. So what I have noticed is most of the students have did their placement in a COVID time period where there was not face-to-face placement. So they had attained it in through online medium. And to Aqua, which is the main body who do the skill assessment for the community services courses, they have mentioned that it is not come under the eligibility to get the positive skill assessment. I think that could be the main reason, but I'm not pretty sure. The reason could be vary from person to person. So yeah, that could be the reason, I think.
I believe that you have done 2 placement while studying the community service sector course. How was your placement journey and did it help you to hunt the job?
Sure, still let me answer this question. So while you study a Bachelor of Community Service sector, you are expected to do 2 placement, which were 200 hours of each. So my placement journey has been wonderful. I have learned so many things, but somehow it has helped me to get a job. I have got a reference from my placement agency to get my recent job. Recently, I have got a job, but I had given an interview with them because they have a job vacancy over there, but they didn't hire me. So I had got a rejection from my own placement agency. But it didn't stop me over there. So somehow I have got motivated. And I have here a quote in a TikTok, somewhere in a TikTok, that the lady was mentioning that my parents had got a visa rejection for overall 4 times. And then they have got a visa by the fifth time when they applied. So she was mentioning like, if you won't try when you can, then there is no option for you to get the things that you want. So that has somehow motivated me, and that has clicked me somewhere in my mind. So I was thinking like, I'm just giving my time. I'm not paying any money, so why don't I try for more options? So somehow the placement have helped me by giving the reference, definitely, and by giving me the experience that I could learn from them. But I was rejected over there. And now I think that it was a good experience because it has landed me on a better place within a 5 months period of time. So I started hunting for a job. So I used to go and give interview every week, I must say. Every week. I had applied every sector that I think I'm capable of. And then, yeah, finally I have got my first entry job in our community service sector.
Alina, after completing studies in community service sector in Australia, what are the sectors that a graduate can find the employment?
Through my personal experience and the knowledge I have, uh, if you study a community service sector, I think you can apply for the job in different sectors like healthcare sector. You can apply in the, for example, I'll give you some examples. So if you want to work in a hospital, then you can apply on hospital. For example, if you want to work in a council, you can apply the job in a council. And then you can apply jobs in a housing as well. You can apply a job in a mental health. There's so many options. I feel like you will get lost, but when you do your research, I think you will get there.
Alina, after studying a community service sector course in Australia, what are the different sectors that the graduate can find employment?
Through my personal experience and the knowledge I have, I can give some of the website names through which you can apply for the job. Also, some of the places where you can apply for the job. I know being a recent graduate in our community service sector, I couldn't really figure out where should I pursue my career. So you need a bit of research by yourself, or you can visit a Aqua website where they have mentioned so many information. I think that will be helpful for you as well. Let's discuss that. What are the sectors that you can apply for the job? For example, if you are into hospital sector, like if you want to work in a hospital, then you can apply in a hospital, you can apply in a court, you can apply in a housing, you can apply in a mental health, you can apply in a domestic violence sector. There are many sectors. Also, to get those titles of job, you can apply through different website. I will recommend you to apply through Ethical Jobs. That is the website which has helped me to get a job. And you can apply through Job Search. There are other recruitment agencies as well. So if you go through Aqua website, that will definitely help you to see where should you search your next job in a community service sector, or where should your level job in a community service sector.
Alina, can I ask, like, what are you currently doing for a living, and was it challenging for you to secure a job in your field? Like you have mentioned earlier that you struggle a lot to get a job, like it took you 5 months. But what sort of challenges did you face, and what are you doing
Yeah, sure.
currently right
So
now?
currently I'm working as a TPC facilitator. So I have choose homelessness pathway. So I'm working under the program of more likely working under the program of early intervention. So yeah, that is what I do at the moment. But it has been very challenging for me to get that job. I have gone through more than 20 face-to-face interviews and all. and I have gone through plenty of phone interviews. But yeah.
Alina, you are a migrant in Australia from an Asian background from the country Nepal. Have you find any differences or challenges to get a job in your sector being a migrant rather than the people who are born in Australia?
Um, yes, Shristi. So it had somehow been challenging for me being an immigrant to get a full-time job, especially when I'm in my temporary residence visa at the moment, because I think employer themselves want an employee who have a full working rights as at the same time they are permanent residents or citizen of the Australia, so that they have a security that this employee will not leave the job soon. But somehow that has impacted me. But I think most of the organization were not biased, but their eligibility criteria have clearly mentioned that they need a permanent residency or permanent resident or the citizen of Australia. And being an immigrant, I think I don't know most of the things that the Australians do. For example, I don't know most of the culture in Australia. So being an immigrant, I must not be familiar with the most of the norms and course of Australian values. So I think that will somehow impact chance of getting a job, I must say. And yeah, otherwise the communication is another thing that being an immigrant you might get frustrated while speaking English and all, and you might not get more connected with the people who are from community service sector background because you can't find any other immigrants. I must not say you can't find, but you will find less immigrants who are in that sector so that you can build a connection in between. So I think there are some other things that will impact. Also, being an Australian is a plus point to get a job in community service sector because they have a full working rights even though they are studying, they have knowledge of the country and all, they have more connections in between. So that could be some of the reason behind.
Alina, you mentioned before that you wanted to work in a sector or study a sector that solves human people, like a human service. I have seen most of the Asian people studying nursing or childcare sector or various sectors. I haven't listened a lot about Asian people studying a community service sector. What was the reason you chose this subject? Because you could
Yeah.
choose other subject too. Like there was a social
Yeah.
worker course too. Yeah.
So firstly, I must say I'm not a nursing person because I don't really like to work in a hospital. That was never my concept to pursue my career in nursing sector. But I had really wanted to study psychology. That is my thing to go at that point of time when I changed my course. But somehow the course was a bit expensive and I couldn't really afford that course. And I did a bit of research and found out community service course is quite similar. And you can pursue a psychology course in future when you study a bachelor of community service. So when I did a bit of research, I found like this could be a thing to go. And personally, I want to serve a community. I really want to serve a community wherever I am, even in Australia or in Nepal. I really want to serve the community where I'm living in. But I doesn't want to work like in a very critical sector. Like nursing is a very critical sector, I think, because you need to be very mindful while doing your work and all. But yeah, so I feel like service sector have somehow given me the privilege to serve the community the way that I want to serve my community. And community service sector have the very expand career pathways, so I can choose which careers do I want to pursue with. So if I really want to work in a very critical sector, I can go through the domestic violence or any other things which are more critical than working in any other sectors. But I feel like I have a more career pathway choice in a community service sector. So that is the reason behind to choosing this than any other human services related course.
Anna, what suggestion do you want to give to those people who are willing to study or are studying community service sector, like regarding their placement, hunting job, finding the opportunity, and many more?
The first thing that I did was trusting my intuition. And I think most of the people should trust your intuition as well and do some research and have a bit of knowledge what you are going to do in future. For example, if you are not really into that course, and there's no point of choosing that course and pursue your career in future. So for example, myself, I have studied IT before, but I didn't really find it interesting for myself, but that might be interesting for another person. So you need to know what you want to do firstly and do your research, like is it really helpful. For example, if you have a goal of immigration, then you need to choose a course that will help you to get your permanent residency or citizen in the future. Similarly, for the students, I'll recommend that improve your skills, communication skills, your technical skills, improve your connection as well. So try to connect with the people who are already working in a sector so that you have a bit of knowledge what you need to do. For example, one of my friends have helped me somehow. I don't know, I feel like she's like a fairy tale for me, but she have helped me to do my resume and all those things. She was the person. So she was already working in this field as well. She had did a bachelor of master of social work. Yeah. So you need to find a people who are already working in a sector so that you can have a knowledge of what you are supposed to do in the future, where you can build your more connections and all. Connections will really help you. Trust me, connection will really help you. And improving your skills, no matter what, you need to improve your skills daily. For example, you need to improve your communication skills, written skills. If you don't know how to use the Outlook or any other websites that could be helpful to get a job in future or anything related with a job, then try to learn those skills. And yeah, if you are currently looking for the job in community service sector, search the different websites that will help you to get a job. And even though you are getting rejected, trust me, you'll get there once you give your best. And I really want to say that from being an immigrant and the person who have faces lots of challenges to get a job, I must say that you don't need to stop until you get your goal. Go for it, and push yourself. This is the time to push yourself. So I believe you will, and I trust on you, and you need to trust on yourself too.
Alina, before you're getting your job in the community service sector, what sort of job did you did and came to this? And is this your satisfied job right
Yeah.
now?
So again, being an immigrant, there is so many pros and cons at the same time. So firstly, being an immigrant, 5 years ago, I have did so many different kind of jobs. I have gone through one sector to another sector. Firstly, I have pursued a career in a hospitality sector, and I did job in a hospitality sector for 2 years. But I really didn't find like I can pursue my career in this sector because that was so frustrating for myself because you need to work since morning till late night and all. There was no flexibility. And then I choose my career in a retail sector. Then I did some work in retail sector. I find it pretty okay for me, but I want to do more. So I had always feel like I do deserve more. And while doing a bit of research and all, I feel like why don't I get a job which is more easier to do, but at the same time is bit flexible. So I have chosen a career pathway in disability sector. I think I have did more than 3 years in disability sector. Not 3 years, I think 2.5 years in disability sector. That was a good job at that time. It has offered me a flexibility, and it has somehow helped me to get my current job as well, because it is kind of the job that you will do in a community. So I have got so many knowledge while doing a disability. And yeah, that has helped me to get my current job. And currently while doing a job under the TPC program of New South Wales, I feel like I'm over the moon. I really feel so happy that I pursued my career in community service sector. I really feel like I had that mindset that has helped me to be what I am today.
Alina, what's your plan after 5 years? Like when you imagine right now, like plan can be changed, but right now, what's your mindset and what will you be doing after 5 years?
That is a tough question. Like I couldn't really think, but I have a bit of mindset what I will be doing in the future. So I think I will expand my career more, and I will try to find a job. I'll try to expand and experience more different roles in a community service sector. And in 5 years, I think I'm really a person who would like to. I have always been a person who would like to have their own business. So I'm thinking of doing a business. But let's see where it goes. But I'll give my best wherever I will be.
Alina, it was great talking with you. Thanks for attending the NEXWEB podcast and sharing your experience and the background, like where you came from and where you have been. Thank you so much, Alina.
Thank you, Shristi, for having me here today as well. And thank you to NEXWEB podcast for giving me an invitation to join the podcast and help me to share my experience in overall journey of my life.